The 2026 Chevy Equinox is more than an SUV. It's your Sunday tailgate and your parking lot snack bar. Your lucky jersey, your chairs, and your big cooler fit perfectly in your even bigger cargo space. And when it's go time, your 11.3-inch diagonal touchscreen's got the playbook, the playlist, and the tech to stay a step ahead. It's more than an SUV. It's your Equinox. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup meal at McDonald's is underway with one of 9 legendary cups in the lineup. Christian Pulisic, David Beckham, Lamine Yamal, Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, Son Heung-min, Alphonso Davies, Santi Jimenez. And between the posts, it's Grimace. Get one of 9 collectible cups with a FIFA World Cup meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last. All rights reserved. 2026 McDonald's at FIFA World Cup 2026.
This episode is brought to you by Prime. What if you had one more chance with the one that got away?
Sam, you came home.
Based on the best-selling novel from Carly Fortune. Every Year After follows childhood friends Sam and Percy as they reunite in the dreamy, nostalgic lakeside town of Barry's Bay.
Love can be hard to find. So if you're lucky enough to find that person, never let go.
A second chance at first love. Every Year After, now streaming only on Prime.
Hey, this is Mark Tremonti from Alter Bridge, and you're listening to Jay Scott on Hook Rocks.
Just like the devil himself. But when it comes to love, and I need something else. The taste of imminent danger out upon my lips. Oh, I want to lick a little portion of my fingertips. Yeah. You're in high while you rest. Between please and rest, yeah. Come on, let's go and get it on. Girl, you are my kind of crazy. Come on. My friends say it's so wrong, but you are my kind of crazy. You got the sales to rhythm all over that smile. When hell breaks loose, you won't see tears in my
Hey everyone, welcome back. It is the Hook Rocks, the Ultimate Rock Community Podcast. Thanks for tuning in once again. We are part of the Pantheon Podcast Network, a great network of music-related podcasts. You can check out myself, the Hook Rocks, as well as many others on the Pantheon Podcast platform, like Vinny Appice and Carmen Peace on the Hangin' and Bangin' podcast, Martin Popoff, the rock historian, Mistress Carrie, the legendary DJ in Boston, Mac from the Ugly American Werewolf in London podcast, Tom and Zeus on Shout Out Loudcast, as well as many others. Follow them at pantheonpodcast.com, as well as on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Pantheon Pods, as well as follow the Hook Rocks on all 3 of those platforms. Search up the Hook Rocks, and you can find us on all podcast services like Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon. We've got some great episodes released recently. We just had Sam Van Colton from Dorothy and Faster Pussycat and his band Butterside, Tuck Smith, Tyler Bryant, Mark Tremonti, as well as many others. So check out all those episodes. We've got over 400. Been doing this for 3 years. Our 3-year anniversary. Had a great interview with Stephen Piercy from Rat. And we have another fantastic episode, a great new music spotlight with a band that I've been a fan of for a while. And that band is the New Roses. And we've got Timmy talking to us about the new single and the upcoming album. What's happening, man? How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on the podcast, man.
Well, I appreciate you doing this. It's great to kind of learn more about you and the band and get into it here upon the new album coming out. But we always ask the same first question, as we always do every time we have a first-time guest on the podcast, and that's really what we're all about. Just like every rock song has a hook that pulls you in, every rock fan has a moment, whether it's a song, an album, a band, or performance, that hook them on rock and roll. What was it for you?
So I grew up with rock and roll, like 50s rock and roll in my parents' house. They had a record player and a couple of samplers with all the 50s hits. So I grew up on Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard and Elvis, and I loved it. But that moment, I knew I have to be a creative musician. I have to be in or have that as a job, as a purpose. That was Soul Shine by the Allman Brothers. When I heard that, I was 17, and you have to know, in Germany, it's a very rare song. You never hear it on the radio or anything. It's not like in America where you hear it in every street corner. In Germany, you may live a whole life and never hear that song. And I heard that on a CD of Gov Mule. They had a record called The Deep End, and there was a version where Chuck Leavell from the Allman Brothers and the Rolling Stones, and the piano player, where he started the song with the Wurlitzer. That's like a piano instrument, an intro with that. And I was driving in my car, and I heard that song, and I had to stop in the middle of the road, and I cried for 15 minutes straight, and I always reversed back to the intro, and that's my favorite songs ever. That's my favorite song ever since.
When you heard that song, obviously it was very impactful to you. Was that the moment that you wanted to play music, create music?
Yeah, exactly. I had no clue what instrument I would pick up. At the time, I was playing the saxophone. I was playing the saxophone since I was 12, and I was pretty good. So I played in those like governmentally supported orchestras, big bands, and I was playing like mostly jazz and swing. We were playing Rat Pack songs and Frank Sinatra and all these guys, and I loved it. So I thought that's my thing. And then I came, but I had that Elvis background I was talking about. And then I started playing saxophone in a rock band of the guitarist of that big band. And then I heard Soul Shine. And then I thought, like, you have to be in rock and roll. Yeah, some way, maybe you're going to be a roadie, maybe you're going to be a drummer or whatever. So I picked up the vocals because the singer of the band quit. I was playing saxophone, and so I sang until we would find another singer, but we never did because I started singing myself, and I loved it so much. And then the guitarist quit, and then I picked up the second guitar, and that's how I came to my instruments, always because we were missing out on those instruments.
How does the big band influence that you talk about impact your tone, your sound in what you do and how you create music?
I must hide it to a certain degree because it would take the whole our music to a place where the other guys in the band would jump off the train. We have very different influences in the band, and we have to find that sweet spot where everybody agrees. And there is a sweet spot. Everything you hear from the New Roses is something that we all agree on. But I sneak it into my vocals, and the way I try to phrase things and the way I use my vibrato and stuff, it's not classic hard rock. It doesn't come from there, I never had a Guns N' Roses record in my life. I never had a Bon Jovi record because I came from a different background. Of course, I listened to all the great stuff that was obviously influenced by that, Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin, and they put rock. Of course, they played rock music, but they took their influences from all over the place, and that's what I always liked. And but the other guys in the band, they come from Guns N' Roses, they come from Mötley Crüe, Kiss, and Bon Jovi, and all these bands. And so we kind of blend that together. But my background and my searching for like whole range melodies, I would call it, definitely comes from playing the saxophone. Because when you listen to classic hard rock music, like the super classic stuff, it's always very, very straight melodies. You have it's very guitar doing virtuous things, but the vocals are mostly like la 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 and stuff like that. And we try to, or my natural perspective on singing is coming from an instrument that plays a whole range of melodies, and that's why I try to approach my songs the same way. I always sing full range melodies in the songs. I guess that it comes from there.
You know, one of the bands from years past who has a big band influence, is Van Halen.
Yes.
When you hear Van Halen, you know, just their arrangements and the way they approach the beat and the way they approach the song, very reminiscent of big band. And their father, Alex and Eddie's father, was, I believe, a trumpet player in a big band. So they heard that music. They grew up with that music. And, you know, if you really want to wrap the influence around Van Halen, to me, it's ZZ Top, Dave Clark 5, and big band. You know, and
that makes sense.
It's a very interesting. Yeah, it's a very interesting. So that has been done before. I mean, obviously, whenever you have a big band influence, you know, you have to really kind of hear it. You got to really kind of hear it under the surface, but it's there. And it's always interesting whenever I hear someone talk about those influences, how they start with music, because that music was very rich in arrangement and very rich in flow of the song too, as well. So it's always an interesting way people approach music who've been influenced by that.
Sure. And I would add to that, it's very interesting what you say, by the way. It's I never thought about this way. But I would add to that if it's a real influence, then you don't know about it. You know, if you say like, oh, I'm going to take that from this song and I put it in my song, it's stealing, you know, it's not being influenced by that. But if it feels totally natural, if you think it's your idea, if you think, you know, it comes straight from your heart, and then you don't know, it's already mixed. It's already, everything is blending together in your heart and your soul. And you just soak everything in, and then you unconsciously blend it all together. And then you put it out, you know. And another thing from the Red Pack stuff I was playing, you gotta picture yourself being, I don't know, 13 years old, 14 years old. Everybody's listening at that time. Everybody's listening to Nickelback and whatever was hit that time, and the Backstreet Boys and all the boy bands were super hip. And nobody I ever knew was listening to Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, or Sammy Davis Jr. But I was playing in that big band, and I thought these guys that were the coolest guys on the planet. I thought like the Backstreet Boys were so not cool compared to these guys, you know, to the way they moved, the way they sang, the way they, you know, would look, and the whole, they were dressed up, and that influenced me a lot as well. Like my definition of being cool, you know, that wasn't really a rock star kind of thing. So after that, I never thought Axl Rose never appeared cool to me, because, you know, when you come from that coolness of Sammy Davis Jr. and then it's not far from Elvis and all these things. It's a different, you know, it's a little different color, but it's the same thing. So when all the 80s hard rock with the spandex pants and the super glitter hair, I could never connect to that, because my definition of cool was already settled back then. So for me, it was a lot. What is this? So like, yeah, I couldn't connect to that.
Have you heard Mark Tremonti sing Sinatra? Have you heard that album?
No.
He released an album earlier this year where it's a very special album. It's an album for charity.
Okay.
He sings all Sinatra songs.
Oh, really?
And, going from Alter Bridge and his band Tremonti to this, he sounds exactly like Frank Sinatra.
All right. And does
I
he
mean,
do
it's crazy. It sounds exactly
Okay.
like Frank.
And is it with a big band as well? Or is
Yeah,
it,
it's with Sinatra's band.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now
So
you got me.
if you
Oh,
have the
yeah.
chance to check it out, it's tremendous.
I will. Cool.
So your new album is about to come out in I think it's October 21st,
Exactly.
which is next week. Wow, we're already there.
Yeah.
The creative process for this album, how does it differ from the previous album? How did you guys evolve from the last album that you did?
Usually we write our records on tour. I have a scratchbook, and I have a little recorder, and I record songs on the acoustic and fractions of songs, just melody, humming, and stuff like that. And then in between gigs at home, I take it out and I try to combine my humming melodies and my chord phrases with the lyrics I wrote down. And this is how we usually make our records. But this time there was no touring because we had a lot of COVID lockdowns in Germany. There was no chance of playing, and we didn't know how long that would go on. So the first couple of months we were just paralyzed. Everybody was sitting at home, super frustrated, not in the mood at all to play or to be creative, because we were just frustrated. And then I picked up the guitar and I wrote a couple of frustrated COVID songs, and I showed them to the guys, and everybody was like, "Oh, fuck that, man." It's just we're not in the mood for this at all. We don't want to deal with the whole situation, And I wasn't feeling comfortable with writing the songs at all as well. So it took another couple of weeks, and then I wrote The Usual Suspects, which is one of the songs of the new record. And I sent that around, and the guys immediately answered, and they were like, "Okay, now we want to rehearse. We want to make an album. Now we're talking." So that paved the way for the record, and we set the tone for the record. And then we had all these Zoom online conference calls and stuff. And then we talked about it. What do we want to do? How do we deal with COVID? And then we came up with the motivation to not shy away or ignore the whole thing, but we thought we have to face it with positive energy. We don't want to let people know that we're hitting rock bottom. Not out of pride, but we wanted to motivate people. We wanted to cheer people up, and build a bridge to better days, and build a space where people could escape for a while and charge the batteries and then go back and deal with reality again, And then with that mindset, I sat down again and I wrote the whole record, song after song after song. And this is our fifth record, and after 4 records and the whole colorful picture that we always paint with our songs, it's not like one style. We have a lot of different influences and a lot of different styles that we picture on a record. So it's really hard to get to that spot where everybody agrees and where everything fits. Sometimes it's too country, sometimes it's too hard rock, sometimes too punky and stuff like that. So, and it gets hotter and hotter with every record because you don't want to copy yourself as well. And then I wrote about 65 songs for the whole record. And then we picked the best 11 ones and made the record. So it was totally different to what we usually do. And you hear that, for example, that we have no road song on the record. Usually we have at least one on the record because we're on the road so long. There's no road song on this record. But instead of a road song, we have a lot of songs about my early 20s, because we were just looking back in time, you know, when you needed some positive energy and there wasn't positive things going on in the present, and there weren't, you know, supposedly positive things going on in the future. So we had to look in the past, and I wrote a lot of songs like Sweet Gloria or Playing with Fire and First Time for Everything. These are all songs that are influenced by my 20s, you know.
When you're writing that many songs,
yeah,
how do you determine the best 11? I mean, there's got to be there's got to be some push and pull with the band. I mean,
yes,
you know,
yeah.
I heard one time that the most delicate time for the health of a band is when they're bringing music to a session to record, because everybody's got their opinions. Yes. And sometimes those opinions don't jive with everybody.
Yes. That is 100% true. Like, this is how do you call it? A delicate moment.
Yes.
This is a very good, very well said. It's because now we know. So everybody's really careful, you know, in that spot. Like when that happens, when that phase starts and you have 64 demos, and then you start talking about like which songs we're going to take, and you know, oh, this is his favorite, and you know, but I really hate that song, and you know, everybody hates your favorite song, and then you have to decide. And back in the day when we started doing that, we didn't know better, so we were like, fuck your song, you know, this is total crap. You know, and even though I write all the songs, you know, mostly, and we arrange them together, but I write them all. But some I really don't like, you know, because I just try to do my job as the songwriter for the band, and others I put my whole heart in, and then you know, then people like the stuff you don't like, and people hate the stuff you like, and then they fight under each other, between each other and stuff. So it's a very, very, very delicate moment. I need to remember that phrase. And but now we kind of know how to maneuver through, navigate through these rocky waters. And I you know, I'm very much more relaxed than I used to be. And because back when you start writing songs, you see every song as your child, and when somebody says it's just, you know, your child is fucking stupid, you know, so you take that very personally, you know. And sure. These days I can detach from the song as soon as they're done. In the middle of the process, they're still my child, but after that, I can detach from that and see them as what they are, just as songs, you know. So that helped a lot in this process this time to not escalate.
Is that how you always work? You know, writing that much music, or was that just a product of what was happening in the world? You know, with a lot more downtime because of the pandemic.
No, because like I said, it's so hard to hit that sweet spot where you say, okay, it's original. It doesn't sound like Aerosmith or Bon Jovi or Scorpions or Black Crowes. But you hear the influences, but it's the mix is so well put that you don't see one single band or one single song. It's rock and roll as you know it, but it has an original spirit. And to hit that spot is really difficult. And to hit that spot and add everybody's agreement to that, where everybody in the band has their own musical identity, is even harder. And then you have to add the factor that you don't want to copy yourself. You know, as many bands do as a credo, you know, say like AC/DC or Motorhead or something, where every song must sound pretty much like the other. That's the whole thing, you know, and they do it in a very genius way. So I don't mean that disrespectful, but our whole fundament of the band is different. You know, we go very colorful, and when I would copy a song that we already written, it would be, you know, that would point out, you know, that you would recognize that much earlier. Oh, this sounds like that song that they did on that record, because every song is so different. And when you come up that's with one that sounds exactly like the other, so these factors are very hard to hit and to work with, and that's why you need a lot more material to come up with new stuff. So a lot of stuff we don't release is good music, but it sounds like Down by the River or whatever, Thirsty, and these are songs of us, and or it's a little too country, it's a little too hard, it's, you know, stuff like that. So and sometimes they're just shit. So sometimes, yeah, for every good song I write, at least 3 songs that are just crap.
What's the identity of this new album, Sweet Poison?
The identity is like the positivity. Is that a right word?
Yes.
Positivity. Yeah. And it sounds a lot like we're back in our like early 20s. We just, you know, finished with puberty, and because it's so rough and it's reckless, and the topics are just like, oh yeah, have you seen that girl? Wow, she's so good looking, I can't help myself but stare, you know, and stuff like that. So it's a lot about, it feels like we're 17 again, you know, and that was the kind of the spirit that we could try to keep up with during the whole process, because that was a spirit where we could joke around a lot, you know. And when you listen to Sweet Gloria, it's just a stupid song, you know. It's a silly song, I would say. It's about that older woman, like the cougar, you know, and that lives in your small town, and everybody kind of, the rumors are, you know, out there, and so like, hey, if you meet her at the right time, you know, you might get a little lesson in life experience, so to say, you know. And we had this particular woman in our neighborhood, and I wrote a song about it, but very, very silly, very funny, you know. And we had so much fun laughing about this lyrics, and because all of it, we are all from the same area, so we all knew about this woman, you know. And due to data protection, I had to change the name later. So now it's called Sweet Gloria, but her name is not really Gloria, of course. And the songs like these, like, they sweetened the whole process, you know. That's the kind of the whole identity, the spirit of the record, is like, just have a good time writing it, have a good time playing it, and make people have a good time, because times are tough, times are crazy, and you don't want to rub it in everybody's face, you know, that, hey, times are crazy, you know. And so we say, like, hey, have a good time with us, charge your batteries, go home and deal with your shit, you know.
What was behind the decision to release the new song as the first single?
Because it was the first song that hit us all, you know. From all the songs I wrote, when I came up with the Usual Suspects, we wanted to make, that was the moment we wanted to make a new record. That was the moment everybody was like drawn into to the new album. And we thought, like, of course, we knew right away this is going to be the first single, because it meant so much to us, and it paved the way for us to make a good record. And so we thought people might feel the same.
As far as the album goes, you know, when you talk about Sweet Gloria, you talk about, you know, the music that you had, when you are writing music, and you're writing music about this woman, you know, but there's other songs on the album, where do you get your motivation to write music? Is it from personal experience? Is it through observation? Are you writing a story? How does that how is your approach to writing a song?
So for the New Roses, it's mostly life experience, and then you add like sometimes you just exaggerate a little, So if you write about loving somebody, you just love her in the song. You love her in a Shakespeare-ish way, just like you or nobody. I can't live without you. Of course you can, but in a song, nobody wants to hear a song going like, "Hey, baby, you look average cool to me, and I could picture myself spending a couple of years with you." So that doesn't work. So if you write a songs, you need to feel what you feel, and then you add another 50%. Or if you have a good time, maybe love is not a good example, because when you love, you always feel like 150%. But if you have a good time, and you write a song, and in the song it's the best time of your life, and in one night, in the song it's one night, and you put in like experience from 150 nights, great nights, and in a song everything happens in one night and stuff like that. But we found out that when I write like real, like imaginary stories, we did that on the Dead Man's Voice record. The song Dead Man's Voice is a song about this bank robbery that goes wrong, and this desperate guy that lost his job robs a bank, and now he's on the loose, and he's chased by police cars, and he rides through the desert and stuff, and tries to find a way out. And we tried that, but it doesn't hit the sweet spot of the band so much. I love it. It's a very personal taste from me, but the other guys and the whole band identity, they can't identify with that so much. So we kind of found our topics that work for everybody in the band, and that's what we do. So a lot of this is road songs. In the past, we write about being on tour, being away from home, being in hotels all the time, meeting new people, and spending, having one night stands in all these towns, and just be there for one night. And this is a crazy life, and we write about that, and the good times, a little bit about the harder times, but mostly about the good crazy parts of life,
Well, Timmy, it's been a blast. Thank you very much for the conversation, man. This was great. Great getting to know you, and great learning more about the band. Yeah, thanks, sir. The new album, Sweet Poison, out October 21st. That's next Friday. Probably this episode will air later than when we're recording it. But it's on Napalm Records. Thanks to Timmy from the band The New Roses. And I am Jay Scott. This is The Hook Rocks, the Ultimate Rock Community Podcast. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Better know
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
This summer at Wolf Trap, Lizzo, Josh Groban, Erykah Badu, John Batiste, Tedeschi Trucks Band, James Taylor, and many more. Tickets on sale now at wolftrap.org.